Is this
Oh,
is this
yeah.
okay?
Oh,
Have I?
no. Yeah, we're good now. Okay, yeah. You were talking to the stream, but now you're talking to me. What's up?
Yeah. No, I've only really just started streaming like 2 weeks ago, but I don't know. Can you see my video? I've got my Destiny Drew photograph in the background. Many people have said we are the greatest reincarnations of Malcolm X today.
Many people?
Yeah, many people are saying this all the time.
Okay.
We're carrying forward his black nationalist legacy. A lot of people say this.
Okay. Well, cool. I approve. Well, what's up? What do you want to chat about? You're Australian?
Oh,
What?
look. Yeah, man. Look, I'm Australian. We've got the Australian election tomorrow. Very similar dynamic to Canada. Like Peter Dutton looks like he's going to lose his seat, and it's kind of like a similar sort of thing. Trump.
Mm-hmm.
People are getting very scared of Trump in Australia.
Okay. How do you feel about that?
Yeah,
What do
we
you want to
can.
talk about that? What about it?
Oh, look. I mean, it's interesting. You can, if anybody's interested in the Australian election, I've got many thoughts. We've got one of the worst housing bubbles in the entire world right here in Australia.
Okay.
Other thing I wanted to talk about as
Why is
well is
that? Wait, why do you have one of the worst housing bubbles? What's going on there?
oh man, so it was 2023. Our housing bubble actually became larger than the Japanese housing bubble at the height of the 80s relative to our GDP. So it's very bad here, very hard for people to get housing. We've got very high rate of population growth. Very low approvals for housing. So it's like we've got NIMBYism plus infinity migration.
Okay.
And yeah. No, it's a very disturbing situation. Very disturbing situation. I don't think any side in Australian politics will fix that. But
Wow.
you should definitely stream it. You should stream the whole thing when it comes out tomorrow.
The election?
Yeah. You should cover it like you covered it Canada.
Okay. I'll think about it.
You should. It'll be I mean, by the time that we get the results out, it'll be sort of morning for you guys. I think in America.
Um. Oh, then definitely not. Never mind.
Oh, right. Oh, I don't know. Like, I mean, by the time you start streaming around like midday, like we would know the results, I suppose.
Okay. I'll think about it.
You should. The other thing I wanted to say to you,
Mm-hmm.
Bad Empanada, like he's been posting my phone number, he's been posting my address,
Wow, that's
encouraging
not
people to
cool.
try to kill me. Like,
Okay.
yeah. No, it's extremely mentally ill of him. Yeah, no, like yeah, just organizing massive online harassment campaign against me and against like Ethan Klein and all these other people. And he's got a new Twitter account. Yeah, and he's just been posting my phone number, and I've had so many people sending death threats from America and everything.
Well, I'm sorry. Oh, he said he was going to do the same thing to Harvey. Did you see that?
To who? Sorry.
There's a guy called Harvey Morenstein. He used to be the guy that did, I think it was Epic Mealtime.
Oh, right. Yeah, he
And
does it to everybody. I mean,
well, he quit. He dropped the, he was going to do the boxing thing, I think, for the Creator Clash, and I think he dropped out. And then I think Bad Empanada, Morenstein, what did I say? And then Bad Empanada replied to him and said, what did he say? I'm going to make hit pieces on you forever until your reputation is tarnished and ruined forever and all that. Yeah.
yeah, he had a recent video where he said his explicit tactic is to try and drive all Zionist people off the internet. And so he was bragging about how he was going to try and drive me off and Ethan Klein and epistocracy and all this shit. But I've been talking to Ethan Klein's lawyers. I've been talking to his lawyers and I've been encouraging him to potentially look at suing Bad and Empanada in Australia. He can do that because Australian defamation law is like universal. If an Australian sues you, even if they're doing it from Argentina, if somebody downloads the video in Australia, it counts as defaming you in Australia.
But neither Bad Empanada or Ethan live in Australia, no?
Yeah. But because Bad Empanada is an Australian citizen and he has his business set up in Australia,
Oh, wait,
and
does he?
yeah, dude, he's got Australian business number set up in Australia and everything.
Oh, damn.
He
Okay. I
gets
didn't know
money.
that.
Yeah, exactly. And it's better to sue him in Australia because we have way weaker free speech protections. And he would be forced to come and testify in Australia. And if he lost, then you could put a no-fly order on him to prevent him going back to Argentina until he paid off Ethan Klein.
Damn.
Yeah, it would fuck his life up. I mean, I think it'd be a great thing. I'm really encouraging Ethan Klein to look into that. It would be legendary.
Yeah, I agree. That would be legendary.
I don't know if you saw this, but he tried to sue me last year in Australia, and he was very unlucky because I work for a really good lawyer, and he gave me free pro bono legal help, and basically just wrote back to him with like 100 screenshots of him endorsing 9/11 and all these crazy terrorist attacks, and just said it's literally impossible for you to defame it's impossible for you to be defamed by Drew Pavlou because you have no reputation that could be defamed.
Based. Did he actually file anything, or did he just send you a cease and desist?
Well, send me concerns notice, and then yeah, like completely abandoned it when my lawyers got back to him, and then he had a big cope where he said, okay, I'm gonna just raise money for the UNWRA instead, and then he made a big 1 hour cope video yesterday, hour-long video calling me a rapist and a pedophile and saying, oh, I was never scared of Drew's legal letter, blah blah.
Damn.
Like he's gone very schizo the past week.
Mm-hmm. What do you think is wait? What? How does he make money?
Dude, I looked into it. I think he makes like 3,000 Australian dollars a month on Patreon. He probably makes YouTube ad revenue, and he lives in Argentina, so he probably lives like a king there.
Oh,
like,
true. I don't know if it's an exaggeration or
Yeah,
not, but my ex's dad used to travel to Argentina, and I feel like he told me you could literally spend like 2 or 3 USD and get like a meal. Like it's insane how cheap everything is down there, or at least it was like a couple years ago. It was like super fucked or something.
yeah, dude. It's look, it's sad. It's a pretty poor country. They got pretty fucked up by like Peronism and like all the crazy trade policies and all that sort of stuff.
Hmm.
And yeah, like he could just sort of like live off a king based off his like sort of like YouTube ad revenue and his like Australian Patreon money and all that sort of stuff. But he'd be fucked up if he inclined sues him in Australian court. It would be pretty amazing. He would have to fly to Australia. If he didn't testify, like the judge could just decide it on the papers, could just decide against him based off the evidence before them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like he'd be pretty fucked if we sued him in Australia. I really want him. I mean, he's literally been calling me like a pedophile and a rapist for like a full year. Posted my address. I had death threats to my family. He used it's so funny. He said Ethan Klein doxed him because he literally used his own name, his Facebook account with his full name, George Angelos Janitis, to like just like comment on my parents' Facebook pet profiles and stuff like that with death threats and all this crazy shit.
Is doxing illegal in Australia?
I mean, I think it technically does breach some laws. Like, yeah, he was doxing my address, all this shit. It's just hard because, like, I've tried to actually report him to the Australian Federal Police before, but Australian Federal Police kind of stopped talking to me because they told me not to go public about like this Chinese plot against me. I'm not even kidding now; it's pretty mental. But like in 2023, I got called in by the Australian Federal Police, and they told me like they had disrupted a foreign interference plot to like find my address and harm me. And they said you can't go public about this. And I don't know why they didn't want me to go public with it. I think they just didn't want to like cause trouble with the Chinese government and all that sort of stuff. And so like after I went public with it like 9 months later, they just like basically they cut off my liaison contact. They won't talk to me anymore. It kind of sucks.
What was the Chinese plot against you?
Yeah, dude, it's fucking mental. Like people think I'm just like I don't know. People laugh at me and they go like, oh, Drew's just like inventing in his head that the Chinese government's after him. But yeah, like in 2023, I literally got called in by the Australian Federal Police and they were like, we've disrupted a plot against you. They wouldn't outright say it was China, but it was very obvious that it was China. And they basically said like we raided somebody in Australia because they were trying to find your address. We were already watching them, and then it came up when we were watching them that they were trying to find your address and harm you. And yeah, like the reason we knew it was China was because one of my friends, her name's Vicky Xu, and she was like a researcher who did a lot of research into like the Uyghur genocide and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they really hated her because she did a report that led to like a big boycott of companies in Xinjiang, and it probably cost the Chinese government like hundreds of millions, billions of dollars. Like she got called in around the exact same time, and so I found out that she'd been targeting the exact same type of plot, and we're like, okay, it's pretty obvious that it's China and not like fucking like Russia or something like that. And then yeah, like it's pretty bad. Like both major parties in Australia are, like competing at the election right now to be like who can be more pro China and stuff. And yeah, I'm actually sort of like worried like long term like trajectory of Australia.
Okay. Damn. All right.
We had we had Xi Jinping's personal cousin. He was like a high roller at the Crown Casino in Melbourne, and he
Mhm.
was literally putting like tens of millions of dollars like in money laundered money like through Crown Casino. This was Xi Jinping's like actual cousin. So like yeah, we're like a sort of like haven and a bolt hole for like a lot of like top CCP officials here in Australia, lots of money laundering and all that sort of stuff. And then yeah, both major parties are like very scared of being perceived to be anti-China because they don't want to like lose they don't want to like lose votes among like Chinese Australians and stuff like that.
Okay.
So yeah, like my personal assumption is that they didn't want to like talk about the fact that like they had actually raided people in Australia trying to find the address of like dissidents against the Chinese government. I think they didn't want to talk about that because like they didn't want to upset relations with China, and yeah, it's a bad situation in Australia.
Well, that's pretty crazy. Drew.
Um,
Wow. All right.
I have someone saying in the comments, you're not explaining this well. You should tell Destiny what the origin of your beef with the CCP is. I just like I was like 19 years old and I tried to do a pro Hong Kong protest at my university in Australia,
Mm-hmm.
and there were like 300 pro China guys who came out, and like I got like beaten up, and like the Chinese consul general in my city, who's like yeah representative of the CCP here, he like put out a statement endorsing the people who attacked me as like patriotic, self-motivated patriots, and calling me a separatist, and I got like my name got like sort of mentioned in Chinese social media with like tens of millions of people attacking me. It was pretty mental. It was pretty mental. This was just like 2019, you know. That's how I sort of started as an activist.
Okay. Is that mainly what you focus on? Is like anti-Chinese stuff, or?
Look, not as much anymore because, like, I mean, not anti-Chinese, not more anti-CCP, but I mean, I got really passionate about like Ukraine. I went over to Ukraine. I was in Ukraine like last month, and I filmed some stuff at the front line and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yes, I saw the aftermath of like a residential tower block that got hit by the Russians, like, and yeah, just got like blown up. Shrapnel was everywhere. Everything was incinerated. I saw that like 2 days after it happened. It was like one day after Trump shut down intelligence sharing. So, and I also went to the city of Kherson where we were walking down the downtown, and like pretty dangerous. The drones constantly present because
Mm-hmm.
they. I don't know. Have you ever heard about like the human safari the Russians have in Kherson?
The human safari?
Yeah, have you heard of that?
I don't think so. No.
Oh, dude, it's really messed up. So like the Russian Telegram channels, they basically put on their Telegram channels that they were declaring the whole city a red zone, and they basically said anyone who's still in the city at this point is a military target. And so just basically day by day, they just have drones in the air constantly, and they hit cars, any random car that's going, any bus, they hit these buses. And when I was there last month, they were telling me that they had about 15 to 20 casualties a day. And like 3 days before I arrived, they hit a bus. They just dropped a grenade on a bus, and like three people died. And they post all this stuff on their Telegram channels, the Russians, and like they boast about it. They call it the human safari. That's where the name comes from. And like yeah, literally just civilians. Anyone who's still in the city at this point, they just like stalk people through the skies with drones, just drop grenades on people, and yeah, 15, 20 people either get killed or injured a day in Kherson. And like the whole city, like it was a city of 300,000 people to now 50,000 because like so many people have fled. It
Mm-hmm.
was it was occupied by the Russians, and it was under Russian control for 9 months of the war, and then Ukraine took it back, and like this is their kind of like punishment. They're like, if we can't hold the city, we're just going to basically drop grenades on people all day. So that's the human safari. I think Dylan Burns has a pretty good documentary on it coming out, and I filmed a YouTube video on it too. We were walking down the downtown area, and like, yeah, it was pretty scary. Some of these places were like I Am Legend, like the whole downtown area is just completely boarded up. You see like one, two old babushkas in the streets, and there's just shrapnel everywhere, cluster munitions, evidence of cluster munitions in the walls. Just like yeah, crazy. So I was in Ukraine last month. I do a lot of Ukraine stuff, and then also I got really interested in like Israel Palestine, and like I guess I get tagged as a Zionist, and a lot of the same people who hate you because they call you like chief Zionist, blah blah. Yeah, I get a lot of the same hatred. I think one of the main reasons Vadim Pinard hates me is because I'm a so-called Zionist, blah blah. And yeah, he just basically says like he thinks that every Israeli should be genocided, and he was saying this on his video the other day, like just yeah, straight up, he just thinks you should be killed if you're like Israeli.
It's pretty fucked up. Yeah. Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah, man. It's messed up. It's messed up. I'm getting like fully brigaded by Fan Panati. Just sends all his like followers to like my Twitter and my YouTube, and just tells people to like download all my shit, and just yeah, I just get constant like death threats. People he made a screenshot. He made up like a fake screenshot where he's like calling me like a pedophile or something, and he gets all his fans to like comment this on my Twitter, and he gets all his fans to like downvote all my YouTube videos and stuff. If you ever get time, you should watch my video on my lawsuit against Bad Infinata. It's a pretty funny thing.
All right. I'll keep it
I,
in
I
mind.
got
I'll
my
do it.
full yeah, yeah, I got my full legal correspondence in there, and like it was pretty funny. Yeah, basically my lawyer just explains in very crucial detail how it's impossible for him to be defamed by anybody on the planet. Like we have literally 100 screenshots of him celebrating like 9/11, Hezbollah terrorist attacks against like just Jewish people. He's got posts where he says 95% of Israelis are valid military targets. Um, there was one time where there was an October 7th survivor, and it was like actually like a liberal Israeli guy, like I think like a Haaretz writer or whatever. And he was in his house like the whole day with his two baby kids, like who were like 2 years old, and like Hamas was right outside, and and yeah, like Bad Empanada tagged him on Twitter, and they had an exchange back and forth, and he was literally saying like, "You deserved it. You deserved what happened to you. Next time the resistance will get you." And this guy like literally had his 2-year-old children with him, right? Like when he was Hamas was right outside. That Hamas would have killed his kids,
Hmm.
and yeah, Bad Empanada was like explicitly saying like, "You deserve this. Your kids are valid military targets and stuff."
It's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, dude, he's like a fully sick guy. I've said this before, but like, dude, there are people who are like pro Palestine and stuff like that. But Bad and Banana is another level. Like, this guy is legitimately the most psychotic person I've ever personally encountered in the internet. And like, I've had like full Chinese state-backed campaigns against me online and stuff like that. Like, and I'm not even kidding. Like, he's just as destructive for like your like personal life and your health and all this stuff as like a Chinese state-backed campaign against you.
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding. Like,
Everybody is aware. Even Hassan knew this. I'm sure you've seen the clips of Hassan talking about in the past that like Bad Empanada is unhinged and he'll never be watching any of his stuff on stream or whatever.
yeah, dude, 2022, Sam was literally like, I will never promote Bad and Banana ever.
Hmm.
And then, like, yeah, now he's like explicitly promoting him. There's videos of Hassan going, like, oh, listen, I just think he does really good research on Zionism and shit like that.
Yeah.
And so, like, they all know what he's doing. Like, they just use him as their fucking attack dog.
Yeah. That's about right. Yeah.
What was that thing where Hassan was saying, oh, Ethan's going to bring Destiny on my stream and then I'm going to get banned from Twitch or whatever? What's that whole shit?
I'm just like kind of do you know what night terrors are?
Uh, like, it just Hassan's haunted by you.
Basically, yeah.
Fucking hell. It's pretty funny, to be honest.
Yeah, well, when you're a fucking retard and you spend all your time trying to convince everybody that you're not a retard, then somebody confronting you on being a retard is probably your worst fear, yeah.
Yeah, dude. I mean, like, he's just not a smart guy. I agree with your analysis that he's just like a slop drama YouTuber because, like, it's just funny. You get these people going like, "Oh, he's just got such a politically astute audience and shit," and it's like, not at all. Like, not fucking at all.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he's not, he's decently smart. Like, he's smart enough to realize how stupid he is. He prioritizes for clout and numbers, basically. That's all he really cares about. So, yeah.
Well, like, yeah, he's not like he's not like brain drooling retarded, but like, he's just not very smart. I remember there's like a video of him before October 7 where like someone was, I think he was playing a world map game and he was like trying to work out where Yemen was, and like he was putting Yemen in like Central Asia and shit like that. And like, this is the guy who's like, just so passionate about the Middle East, like.
Yeah, and like that wouldn't
shit
even
where,
matter. Like, I didn't know fuck all before October 7th. But the thing that makes that so funny is that Hassan will constantly say, like, I've been studying this for years. You know, it's like, okay, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly right. Like he's just like I don't know, that iDubbbz thing where he goes, "Oh, Hassan endorsing 9/11 in 2021. Like, that's just because he's so passionate about the Middle East."
Yeah.
And then like, yeah, you look into it and it's like, dude, he didn't even know fucking where Yemen was. Like, and I don't know, have you ever like seen how his dad's part of like an Islamist party in Turkey? It's pretty funny.
I've heard of stuff about it. I've never like dug into it, but yeah, it seems kind of cringe, yeah.
His, his dad was like a founding member of this party in Turkey that was set up by a guy who was part of like Erdogan's Islamist party, and then he like split from Erdogan.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I'm not even kidding. Like this new party that his dad's like a founding member of, like I think it's like the Future Party or something like that. I gotta get it up, but his dad's favorite party, like the guy like literally sat down, not his dad, but like the founding member of this party that like Hassan's dad is like a founding member of. He did like a full sit down meeting with like Ismail Haniyeh, the Hamas leader, and it's just funny. Like, and also his dad's like part of like an oligarch family, or like he works for an oligarch family in Turkey. Like, he was like a vice president of like this holding company that's run by like one of the richest families in Turkey that's worth like $20 billion or something like that.
Based,
Just
okay.
funny, like his entire background.
Yeah, pretty standard for lefties, yeah. But yeah.
I don't know. I read that he originally tried to like orbit off you and stream with you and stuff like that. Like, years back, like he was friends with you. How did that work?
I mean, when Hassan, like, well, he approached me because he wanted debate advice because he did a debate with Charlie Kirk, and I think he thought he could have done better or something, and then he kind of, and I was obviously one of the largest political streamers, so he wanted to get that clout.
Yeah. And so he like literally came to you for advice, like in The Godfather, comes to you on the day of the daughter's wedding, asking for advice.
Something like that, yeah.
I've just found it out. It's the Future Party of Turkey, and the leader Ahmet Davutoglu, like literally had a sit down meeting with Ismail Haniyeh, and that's Hassan's dad's party. You know, it's funny. It's fucking funny.
Yeah, not surprising. Yeah.
That whole the whole endorsing 9/11 shit and like IDAP's going like, oh, it's actually really fair because he's just like he's from the Middle East and he's really passionate about it. Like that shit's just so bullshit. That really should have ended his career. Like literally just endorsing like full blown terrorist attack against Americans. I don't know. I don't know how he can even like go forward after that.
Well, I mean, like his brand is like edgy leftism, so it kind of works, right? When the whole brand is like "fuck America" or whatever, you can make it work, basically, right?
I'm sending you now, Destiny. You should put it on your stream. I'm sending you a link to the news article where Hassan's dad's party like meets with Hamas leaders in Turkey. It's really fucking funny.
Listen, I believe you. Okay, I don't care about Hassan right now. Hold on, what am I clicking? Turkey's former PM, is that his dad, Davutoglu?
No, so his dad is a founding member of Davutoglu. So like, so Hassan's dad helped set up the Future Party in Turkey, and then the Future Party head has met with the leader of like Hamas, Ismail Haniyeh. It was May 2024.
Okay.
In the meeting, Davutoglu and Haniyeh discussed developments related to the war in Gaza, including the ongoing genocide by the Zionist occupation army in Gaza and ways to help the Palestinian nation. The two leaders also had a detailed discussion about the current situation in the occupied West Bank, Al-Quds and Al-Aqsa Mosque, as well as the situation of Palestinians languishing in Zionist prisons. In the meeting, the two sides reviewed the ongoing efforts to establish a ceasefire in Gaza, the results of mediations. While appreciating Turkey's official and popular stance in support of Palestine, Haniyeh emphasized the necessity of continuing efforts in the region and the world to inflict a hard and historic defeat on the occupying Zionist dogs. So
Okay.
that's
I want to
that's
ask.
Hamas's that's Hassan's dad's political party that he helped set up.
Gotcha.
It's fucking funny.
I want to ask you a real question, though. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah, sure.
100 men or one gorilla? What do you think?
Oh shit! Look, I actually think it legitimately would be 100 men because I was reading about this,
Uh-huh.
and I think like the gorilla gets tired after like 20 people, right? Because they don't have the same cardiovascular ability that like the human beings have. We were really designed for like the top of the range, like cardiovascular endurance. The ancient humans of the savannah.
Do you think that who would be the first 20 men though that would volunteer to go fight?
Yeah, I know. Maybe like you'd have to have some kind of like suicide pact where like yeah, they're just 20 people who are willing to kind of like lose their lives to fight against the gorilla. I think that's probably what you'd need. There'd be 20 people. You'd get a lot of casualties. There'd be like 20 people dying.
Mm-hmm.
But I think after a while, the gorilla gets tired, can't keep up, and then just gets fucked up by the humans. And also, the humans can use tools as well, right? Like there can be like
Well, no
humans
way.
using
That would be
rocks and stuff.
crazy, right? Like if humans were allowed to like bring swords and spears and shit, wouldn't they just auto win?
Oh yeah, dude, exactly. Especially if you've got like bows and arrows and stuff like that. Because I'm assuming that you wouldn't be able to have like guns and stuff like that. But
Mm-hmm.
but you know, imagining it's the sort of weaponry that older humans would have. You know, bows and arrows, rocks. You can use projectiles. Imagine 100 people from the hillside and they're all showering rocks on this gorilla. I think they'd be fucking destroyed.
Absolutely true.
I've got someone commenting saying Drew's too ADHD. I do actually have ADHD. I just get really fucking hyper.
Okay, that's fine.
What time is it over there?
9:43 p.m.
Oh, okay, that's not too bad. That's not too bad.
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, true.
You should definitely look into the Australian election tomorrow, Destiny.
I'll think about it all. Check it out. Okay.
It's unfortunately not as interesting as American politics. I personally find it pretty boring. But you would have Australian audience members.
Yeah, I might. Yeah. Or no, I mean, I'm sure I do. Yeah.
I remember when I was
actually, I don't know if I have that many. I guess because I feel like Japan and Australia are like the two. Well, I mean, those are together, but Australian time zone is just so fucking weird. I don't even know when they are normally awake.
well, for example, right now it's midday for us. It's like 12 p.m.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of like just middle. I guess when you guys go to sleep, it's like middle of the day for us.
Sure, but I'm like usually asleep by now already. So.
Yeah, true, true. I mean, it's good that you're still around.
Mm-hmm.
How long do you normally stream for?
How long do I normally stream for? Well, I usually would have ended like 45 minutes ago.
Wow. Thank you for having me on to chat shit, Destiny. I appreciate that.
No problem, dude.
There are some comments saying that there are Australian members here. That's excellent.
Yeah, I'm sure there are at least a few. Yeah.
Yeah, and when I mentioned the rental situation, it's fucked up. It's fucked up. It's like it's almost disastrous. It's almost disastrous. Like it's 8 times the median household disposable income to try get something.
Damn, that's that's crazy. That's horrible.
Yeah, dude. Like the average house price in Sydney is like well into the millions. So like even just like the smallest rent, like smallest, most average house possible, it's well into the millions in Sydney.
Why don't people move? Like, I noticed there's a whole bunch of like empty space inland a little bit. Why doesn't anybody like move in there?
Dude, like the entire inland's like just full on desert. So it's like 70% of Australia is basically uninhabitable.
Isn't like California a big desert though? I feel like a lot of people live in California.
Yeah, yeah, good point. I mean, I've got this long term thing. It's kind of retarded. Like I know that it'll never happen, but I wish that it was possible that we could just like green the interior and have this like this massive grand inland sea, and then have like cyberpunk cities in the desert.
Hmm.
That would be extremely bad. That'd be extremely base. But it'll never happen though. It's like 90% of the Australian population like basically just lives on the coasts, and then yeah, like Sydney and Melbourne and Australia. Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane. I'm in Brisbane. Yeah, the rental situation's fucked. I was trying to get a place like earlier this year, and I literally had to apply for 70 different places before I got one.
Damn.
We've got so America has 1.2 million international students or something like that.
Hmm.
We literally have the same number of international students in Australia, despite our population being like 27 million compared to America's like 340 million.
Do you send the people that come to study inland, or do they also stay on the coasts?
Oh, dude, they're all Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane. Yeah, so it's just like very, very tough situation. I think like the past 2 years particularly, like we've had like basically the biggest population growth in Australian history.
From just
It's
immigrants, or
actually
from
very similar.
people like having kids and stuff too?
It's mainly from immigrants and international students and stuff like that. Because we've got pretty low fertility rate as well in Australia. It's a very similar situation to Canada if you've ever looked into that, where like they've had a massive population growth and then like they've got massive housing bubble as well and all that sort of stuff.
Damn. What are they doing about the low fertility rates over there?
Oh, nothing really, nothing really. Like this is what I was gonna basically say, about the Australian election. Like, I certainly favour the sort of centre left side, the Labor Party, which is like I guess our equivalent of the Democrats. But and our Greens are like we've got a kind of multi-party system. Like our Greens are probably the equivalent of like your Democratic Socialist Alliance, sort of America sort of thing, DSA,
Hmm.
maybe even a bit more extreme than them. But but yeah, like even though I favour like Labor, like it's certainly a situation where it's like I kind of think like whoever wins, we've just got this situation where like our housing bubble is just going to keep on going and nothing's really going to change. Like both major parties are trying to like campaign on like who can raise house prices further, and
Who
it's
can
like
raise housing
we
prices?
yeah, dude, raise housing prices, and like it's just mental because like it was 2023, I think, when we crossed over relative to GDP. Our housing bubble is like literally now bigger than the Japanese housing bubble was, and that Japanese one in the 80s was fucking mental. Like at the height of the Japanese housing bubble in the 80s,
Hmm.
the grounds of the Imperial Palace in Tokyo was like apparently worth more than the entire state of California. So it's just like, and like in relative terms, ours is now worse than the Japanese housing bubble.
Jeez, that's fucked up.
Yeah, dude, and our greens are just really messed up as well. Like I don't know if you've ever seen like the German greens in Germany. They're like pretty pro Ukraine. They're pretty like they're not too bad aside from like nuclear energy. But
Hmm.
our Greens in Australia are like really, really hardcore leftists. Like sort of they'd be well to the left of like AOC
Damn.
because like
How big are they?
AOC at
Are
the end
they?
of
Do
the
you have a lot? Do you have like a parliament down there? Or are there a lot of Greens in there? Or?
yeah, yeah, we've got a parliament. They're like they've got 4 members of the 150 House of Representatives, but then in the Senate we've got proportional representation in the Senate, and they're kind of like kingmakers in the Senate. For the government to pass anything, they kind of have to they kind of have to like deal with the Greens. And so I had someone in the chat saying, telling the story of how they fucked up Australian energy policy for 15 years. But basically, like 15 years ago, they blocked a kind of like more moderate move by the Labor Party to price in emissions. They said it wasn't good enough for them.
Hmm.
And then we basically then got like 15 years of conservative government. We had like 10 years of conservative government in Australia where like they just did absolutely nothing on climate change. So they're really like they definitely sabotage stuff.
Damn. Okay. That's
They
fucked.
they fully sabotaged. Yeah, they fully sabotaged Australia's yeah climate change response for like 10 plus years, and then their current policy is like they want to end the Australian alliance with America, but then at the same time also cut defense spending to 1% of GDP. So it's just like mental. Like you cut the American alliance, and then not only do you not like have your own independent deterrent at all, like you just literally cut your own defense spending in half as well.
Hmm.
So it's actually just like a mental policy. It's like literally a policy to have China come in and like just invade and occupy us.
Not good. Not cool.
Yeah, dude. I honestly think it's pretty scary for us in Australia. Like we're very reliant on the American alliance,
Hmm.
and then like with Trump just like fully retreating, it's pretty scary for us. It's pretty scary for us. I don't actually know what we're gonna do. I think we've kind of like got to do like French de Gaulle policy where we just have like our own independent deterrent. Like realistically, we have to double our defense spending and all that, but it's just impossible.
Okay. I don't know what to say to that.
And yeah,
I don't know what to say to any of
yeah
this,
with
but
with,
okay, go ahead. Sorry.
with my gang stalking by the CCP,
Yeah.
um, it's pretty scary if China actually gets to a position where like they're dominant over Australia. I think I would actually have to potentially go into exile. It's pretty fucking scary.
Into exile.
Yeah, dude. I'll tell you what my worst case scenario is for what China. Like some people think they're gonna like. Some people think like I'm like this hyperbolic guy who thinks like Chinese military is gonna land on Bondi Beach and like have like a full invasion.
Hmm.
Like I don't think it's gonna be like that. I think worst case scenario is like Taiwan gets invaded and like America fully retreats, full isolationism under Trump, and then basically we would have a fallen government in Australia and like all these pro-China people in the Australian business community, politics, media, they would form like a basically like a pro-China sort of like Vichy collaborationist regime. And then in that scenario, I would like literally get fucking destroyed. There was um there was an attempt like 10 years ago by the Liberal Party of Australia, which is like our right wing party, like supposed to be the Republicans.
Hmm.
Like they actually were trying to put in place an extradition treaty with China. That was 10 years ago. And like
Jeez.
that's supposed to be like that's our like right wing sort of like nationalist party.
Which mean,
And
and they could just
they
like
came
fucking
really
full on extradite you, right?
yeah, dude. So if you remember like what happened in Hong Kong, how there was like a full revolution, and that started over the extradition treaty there.
Hmm.
They were like close to doing an extradition treaty in Australia, and like that was like our right wing government that was going to do that.
Yeah.
So like, and then our right wing. So the leader of the Liberals in Australia, his name's Peter Dutton, and people kind of call him like a Temu Trump. That's like the nickname for him because like he's got a history of being pretty authoritarian and all that sort of stuff.
Okay.
And there's a lot of people in this party who love Trump and all that stuff. But he's literally been saying in his campaign that he's like going to be like a pro-China campaigner. He wants to have a really good relationship with China. He wants to trade more with China, and like this is our version of Trump.
Damn. Okay.
So, dude, I honestly might get fucking extradited or forced into exile if things get worse in Australia. It's pretty scary.
Well,
That's why like I hate Trump so much because if he just like fully fucks up, America's alliance system in Asia and all this stuff, then I personally get fucked over massively.
yeah, that'd be probably pretty bad. Yeah.
You should if you ever get time as well, I've got this on my Twitter and it's like my pinned post, but it's like literally the Australian Federal Police testifying to the Australian Senate saying like, yeah, we literally had to intercept this foreign interference plot. We raided people. They were trying to find the address and violently harm Drew Pavlou, which is fucking mental because it's like I don't know, like imagine that happening in Australia, right? I mean, imagine happening that happening in America. The American government, for all its faults, is pretty strong when it comes to this sort of stuff. Like they literally just arrest CCP agents all the time and like deport them, and
Hmm.
like that just does not happen in Australia. Like our government's really really scared of that.
Because they don't want to get on China's bad side.
Exactly, dude. Exactly.
Have you ever been to China before?
Nah, dude, I'm banned for life. Like I could never ever go. I would like to go. I would actually like to go because like if you look at some of these cities like Shenzhen and like Chongqing and stuff like that, they look like full Blade Runner cyberpunk cities. So I
Hmm.
think it'd be fucking cool to go. But I could never go though. Like I was dude, this is pretty mental things. My brother lives in America, right? And he's just like a college soccer player. He lives in New York. And they were doing like a bomb threat campaign against me for like a full year. So what the Chinese government was doing, or at least like proxies working for the Chinese government, They basically were just using Proton Mail, which hides your IP address, and they just create like fake. They create like 10 or 15 like fake Drew Pavlou Proton Mail email addresses,
Mm-hmm.
and then they just send out like bomb threats in my name to just like places all around the world. And I was in London in 2022, and I got arrested by the Metropolitan Police because of one of these bomb threats, and they literally had me 24 hours in a cell incommunicado, no access to lawyers, nothing, because they treated me like a full terror suspect.
Damn.
And yeah, it's fucking mental. Like that's when I sort of like stopped doing like in-person protesting. And and yeah, like then they started doing it to my family. So they did it to my mum. They were doing it to like my mum. They were doing it to like all these like they found out my mum was like a retail worker, so they did it to all these shopping centers in my city of Brisbane to try to get a fight from her work.
Mm-hmm.
And then the most mental one was like they worked out that my brother lived in America and they did a bomb threat in his name to LAX using Proton Mail. And three FBI agents like visited my brother at his college soccer dorm in New York City. And they were like they were like, we know you didn't fucking do anything, but we still got to talk to you. And like, it was pretty fucking scary for my brother. He was really pissed off at me. He was like, he basically said like, never ever mention me ever again in public. Like I try to avoid to that. But like, yeah, that literally happened in fucking America. Like three FBI agents visited my brother because the Chinese government did like a bomb threat in his name. And yeah, like it's just been going on for years. Like I've like actually been gang stalked and everything. It's pretty mental. And this started just yeah because I was protesting at my university against them.
Do you think has anybody from China ever contacted you directly?
Yeah, dude, I've been beaten up twice in person by like Chinese guys
Do you think
in
they're like
Australia.
from the
Like,
CCP, or do you think it's just like random Chinese people that recognize you?
oh shit. I mean, yeah, I think it's more likely that it's just like random sort of like they call them little pinks. It's like random nationalists. So it'd be the equivalent of like like a random Hamas supporter in America sort of thing. But I don't know. Like I've literally had when the bomb threat shit happened to me and I was in London, the Chinese ambassador to Australia, he was doing like a press conference in Australia,
Mm-hmm.
and nobody asked him about me or anything, but he just randomly brought up my name and he was just like laughing at me and comparing me to like Julian Assange, being like, oh, he's been detained overseas and all this shit. And so like they literally know me. Like the Chinese ambassador was like basically mocking what happened to me in London, and then like
Was this on like
and
a
then yeah
TV, or
like
is this like on a video somewhere? Or
yeah, dude, this is literally on a video. I can show it to you if you're interested. It's pretty fucking mental.
oh yeah, link it. I'm curious.
Um,
That sounds crazy.
yeah, yeah, I'll find it. I'll fucking find it. It's he really hated me because what happened was he I disrupted his first speech in Australia. I
Mm-hmm.
like organized like a protest crew where like we got like five people into the audience and every 2-3 minutes someone would get up and start chanting about Tibet and stuff like that. So he really personally hated me. And then this happened 2 months later. And then after that happened, yeah, he was getting asked about like Julian Assange, I think, and they just said, this happens to Australian citizens all the time. Like, look at Drew Pavlou, for example, in London. Like just taking the piss. Like it was like he was basically saying like we fucking did this to you.
Do you think he personally ordered it?
I mean, it's fucking hard. I don't know if he actually personally ordered it, but he certainly at the very least thought it was funny enough to just like randomly bring it up at a press conference about me. Like, and nobody even asked about it. His name's Yao Chen. If you look at a picture of him, he's a very funny bloke. Like, he's like very short and balding,
Mm-hmm.
and like yeah, he looks very very weird. Where is this? I have to find his Twitter page. It's so fucking funny. He's a really psycho guy. Like he published it. He's been in the Australian news before, and he publishes like opinion articles where he basically said like when we take back Taiwan, we will re-educate the Taiwanese independence forces, and like basically just straight up saying like he was going to do yeah they were going to do what they've done to the Uyghurs in Taiwan.
Jeez.
I found it. I'll send it to you in Discord. Yeah, it's funny because I get all these people going like, "Oh, Drew's just like this like random retarded shit poster. He's hallucinating being gang stalked by China." But it's like an actual thing. Like I actually have been gang stalked. I sent it to you over Discord,
Okay, hold on. We'll
and
listen.
like this is
One
what
sec.
they,
Wait, let's listen. Hold on. Give me a sec. We're
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
listen.
yeah, no worries.
Well, thanks for the question. I understand
There's a
the
poll in
citizen
the chat
from Australia
where it's like,
who's detained
is
overseas
Drew
in
schizo or is he a victim of the Chinese
sensitive
government for
issue.
having furry porn on his computer?
And well, thanks for the question. I understand that any citizen from Australia who is detained overseas should be in a sensitive issue. And just like Assange, you know, or Mr. Pavlou, who's detained in the United Kingdom. The case of Chen Lei, the person you're talking about, is still. Oh, thanks.
Wow. How do you know it's the Chinese government and not like some random troll people? Like, what if it was like, what if it was like Bad Empanada doing it?
I mean, this was years before I ever like got into like a real fight with Bad Empanada.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're right. It could potentially just be like random supporters of the Chinese government who are outsourcing this thing. The thing that was scary though was that they knew that I was going to be there on that day to do it. Because I mean, I'd gone to the Chinese embassy like 2 times in a week just to like I was just standing outside. Like at one point, I was like ringing the doorbell just like to troll them and stuff. And then yeah, like and then one day like I got there and I was like protesting, and then suddenly like all the police came up and they were like. They arrested me. They put me in a rear stack handcuff position, like really serious. They only do that for like 2% of arrests in the UK for like violent suspects.
Mm-hmm.
And they put me in the van. They wouldn't even tell me like what I was being arrested for. It was only after like 3 hours they told me that it was for like a bomb threat. And they said like, oh, we'd been informed by the Chinese embassy. And then like they told me like I was facing 12 years in prison, like 7 years for the bomb threat, and then 5 years if I wouldn't give them my phone password, because they wanted to go through my entire phone and like try and work out whether I'd sent it, blah blah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was literally in a fucking cell. I slept in a British prison cell for like 24 hours. They wouldn't let me talk to a lawyer, wouldn't let me talk to the Australian embassy. Eventually, they worked out like it was fucking bullshit, and they let me go. But I got stranded in London for like 5-6 weeks. They basically said, if you try and leave, we might arrest you at the border. So I was fully stuck there for like a month and a half until the Australian government eventually allowed me to like sort of like get out.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was pretty fucking scary. It's pretty fucking scary. And this is when that happened. Like when he made that speech, I was like on bail. I was technically on bail in London, and I was just stuck like couch surfing. I didn't know what I was gonna do. And then yeah, like I just saw like overnight, like I woke up and like Xiao Chen, the fucking ambassador, had just been like mocking me to like all the Australian like press corps at the National Press Club. It was fucking mental.
Damn.
Yeah, so I've literally been gang stalked. Like it's kind of mental. They actually do this shit to people in America, and in this happens to all these Hong Kong activists in America as well, Tibetan activists and stuff like that. I know so many people who've been like gang stalked basically by the Chinese government. I don't know, it's scary, man. Do you think it's going to be a Chinese century with what Trump's doing at the moment? Do you think like we're fucked?
I can't make any predictions about the American anything right now. We're on our own schizo arc, so.
Oh, dude, it's like I call it MAGA Maoism. I like legitimately think it's like the fucking Cultural Revolution type shit.
In America?
Yeah, dude, it's similar. Like the way there's like a fucking cult of personality.
Oh.
Like I don't know, you would have seen. Did you see the recent one where like they got all the people like around him praying for him, and then like every single cabinet meeting, like they all have to go around in a circle and like just suck Trump's cock. Like it's like full Maoism, man. It's fully scary.
Yeah, it's pretty cringe. I don't disagree. Yeah.
Richard Hanania has like a funny take where he basically was saying that like when Trump dies, it's going to become its own religion, and I actually think he's kind of right there. Like America already has Mormonism, already has like Branch Davidians, like these Christian schismatic schizoid movements sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And like I think it's going to be like that with Trump. Like they're going to turn him into like a fucking deity.
No, once he's gone, I think people will forget about him pretty fast, and all the Republicans will just pretend like it never happened, basically.
Dude, I hope you're right. I really hope you're right. But the level of like, it doesn't make sense. Like the level of devotion they have to him, like the cult following here.
It's pretty cringe. Not good, yeah.
What percentage of the American population do you reckon is part of this cult? Because it's only like half the Republican Party, right? If you look at the primary results and stuff like that.
It's like a hardcore cult, probably like of all the people that follow Trump, I always guessed it to be anywhere from like 30 to 50%.
Yeah. And then there's like half of people who are like, they just vote for him because they like want to own the libs or like.
Yeah, and he's not woke and all that dumb shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Surely those people will split off from him when there's going to be like actual fucking shortages on American shelves, like in the next 2 months, 3 months.
Surely.
Like, I don't know. Have the tariffs impacted you yet, personally, Destiny?
Not really, but also I'm rich, so I don't care about that stuff, you know. We don't.
I was reading somewhere that like, I mean, I was reading somewhere that like there's all these like there's all these like podcasters and stuff like that who are noticing like all their e-commerce ad shit is just like down in the dumps because like of what's happening.
Good. Fuck them.
And if that happens, then maybe opinion will start to turn. If he makes the entire podcast stream a slot class, turn against him.
Maybe. Yeah. And then they can't sell their merch, and then we'll all be anti-Trump. Yeah. True. That's true.
I don't know, man.
No, that's
It's
true.
fucking scary. I think it's like legitimately mega Maoism. I have like this thesis, and I was kind of building off Richard Hanania, but I have this thesis where it's like if you look at Trump's like personality and his actions and the way he governs, like he's like actually like kind of like more third world than like a Western leader. Like I don't know, like it's very weird. Like MAGA, like they really hate Europe. They really hate like liberal democracies across the world. They hate the West.
Mhm.
They're like dream leader is like fucking Bukele and all these like Latin American dictators and shit and Putin.
Yeah, it's pretty cringe. Yeah, and every time Trump talks
Like-
good about somebody, it's always like some cringe, like Orblov or Kimmy or Putin or all of his greatest
It's
hits.
a shithole. It's always like a country that's basically a shithole. Like America, like in Russia, 30% of people don't even have like indoor plumbing. Like it's objectively a shithole, and like, but that's their fucking gold society because they bash the gays there or some shit. Like that's how MAGA thinks.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty cringe. I agree. Super cringe. Ultra cringe. Yeah.
Dude, like Benny Johnson and all these people, like how
Yeah.
they were like fucking worshipping the fucking sacrifices that everyone had to make when the tariffs came in, and Benny Johnson was like, "Stop caring about money. You should just accept the sacrifice." Like
It's cringe.
that's like full
Yeah.
death cult behavior. Full death cult behavior.
Absolutely true. Yeah.
What's your prediction? Do you think you can survive? America can survive to the midterms?
We'll figure it out. We're a resilient nation, and enough people are counting on us that we'll do it. I'm sure we'll pull through in the end. America always
I really
does.
hope so. I really hope so, man. It's so sad because I was like basically the biggest America boo in Australia. I was like I was such a supporter. Like, I don't know. Would you know those like lefty? It's like Hassan's buddies. Like Hassan has some buddies in Australia, like Friendly Geordies and like Boy Boy and shit. Like, and they're all like basically tankies.
Mhm.
Like Friendly Geordies, it's funny. His views, Friendly Geordies is funny because like his views, it's like a standard Labour supporter. So like it's the equivalent of someone who's like a full Democrat supporter, but like on foreign policy, he's a tanky.
Okay.
And they made this cringe video where they went out to Pine Gap, which is like this American like intelligence base in the desert of Australia near Alice Springs, and like they were just like having like a meltdown that this base exists, and they were just like walking around outside, and like at one point like Boy like shat on the floor and then like smelled his own fingers of shit. Like it was just disgusting. Like it was fucking weird. And they were just like it was like a 1 hour rant video about like how there's like how dare there be like an American base in Australia. And like I just was like shit posting in response to it, and I was like, expand Pine Gap 1,000 times, make Pine Gap 10,000 times bigger to fucking troll like fucking bad and not Friendly Geordies and Boy. And then sadly, then Trump comes in and he's like just destroying all the alliances, and I'm like, I can't even really say that expand Pine Gap 10,000 times anymore. Like, dude, I was the biggest AUKUS supporter, and like now it looks like Australia will never get the submarines.
Yeah. Well, not very epic, as they say.
Have you ever like seen like the AUKUS deal and stuff like that? That was one of the best things Biden did, and then like it looks like we'll never ever get the submarines now in Australia. I think it's over.
Well, hopefully, when you guys form a strong alliance with China, they'll let you hang out on some of the submarines.
Oh, dude, I don't know what I'd do. I think I'd have to find exile in fucking Europe or something like that. I couldn't even exile in America because you know what's funny? I actually want to go to America on a holiday soon. I mean, we were gonna do that podcast, like last year. Like I'm still keen to do it this Destiny. Like I actually want to go to America, like for a week or two. But like, I wonder what would happen if I tried to get in. I mean, I've like talked a lot of shit about Trump and everything. There are random Australian tourists and stuff who've just been like deported at the border and like detained by ICE and stuff. It'd be fucking interesting if I got like martyred by ICE.
That'd be pretty fucked up. Trump doesn't like people talking shit.
Do you think I should try it? Just like book a ticket and see if I get fucking deported at the border?
I don't know. Maybe. Why not? It's the worst that could happen, right?
I should. Maybe I will. Maybe I will when my university semester's over in like June. I'll just like book a ticket, see what happens.
Yeah. Fuck it. Yeah. Why not? Yeah.
Are you still doing podcasts with like Dan and stuff like that?
Yeah, we have one. Yeah, we're supposed to do one maybe tomorrow. We'll
Dude,
see.
you know what? Like maybe in June or July, I'll try come to America, and maybe I can join one of the podcasts. We'll see if ICE deports me first. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, we can try to meet you at the airport and we'll get live video footage of you being captured. Yeah.
Dude, that would be content. Let's fucking do it. I honestly, maybe I should just like, I should even like, when I do it, I should even post like the exact time I'm arriving and stuff like that. Give like the MAGA guys like a heads up. I don't know if you know like Captain Dreamer and shit from Twitter, but like there's this MAGA guy that JD Vance supports, and his profile picture is like David Koresh from the Branch Davidians Waco cult,
Mm-hmm.
and like yeah, JD Vance like literally follows him, and this guy's like fully unhinged and psycho, and he's posted before about how he loves Hitler and stuff, and like JD Vance follows like 1,000 people, and like one of them is like fucking Captain Dreamer. And I don't know if you saw like Richard Hanania posted a video. It was like this guy Captain Dreamer's dad denouncing him because his dad's like the head of like some Christian university in Canada, and he had to say like I really disagree with like what my son's been posting about like Nazism and all this shit.
Damn.
And I don't know. I was thinking to myself, right, like if I go to America and I say like I'm going on this date, I'm going to be landing at Miami airport this time, like Captain Dreamer, he would literally probably like get contacts in the government to like fucking call it in. He tried to get the government to he got the DC attorney that Trump appointed, Ed Smith or something like that. He
Mhm.
got Ed Smith to open an investigation into like Will Stancil, which is like fucking mental.
Jeez, that's pretty crazy. Yeah.
There's a funny comment. Drew stripped naked and raped by Ice Groiper. That's fucked up, man. That's fucked up.
That'd be super fucked up. Yeah. Jeez.
I don't know. What do you reckon the chances are? Like, there's actually been like a couple of Australians who've just randomly been detained and deported for no reason at all.
In America,
Yeah.
I don't know. Our immigration people right now are really wacky. So, they're just they just do what they do.
Drew subjected to cavity search by ICE agents at Miami Airport, Groiper. Fucked up.
That'd be fucked. That'd be super fucked. Yeah.
That would actually be so fucked up. That would actually so not be fun. That'd be fucked.
Yeah, I imagine it would be.
There was,
Yeah, bro.
There was actually like an Australian guy who was like living as a permanent resident in America, and there was a story in the Guardian, and he just got randomly detained by ICE because I think he went home to Australia for his mum's funeral or something like that, or his sister's funeral or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
and came back and he just got detained immediately by ICE or something like that at border control, and then like and then someone was and then he said in the Guardian article like the border control agents were like calling him retarded and were like Trump's in power now, bitch, and shit like that.
Jeez, it's kind of fucked up. No.
I know, dude. I think that's Drew like tortured and raped by ICE agents at the border, subjected to cavity search. Fucked up. Actually, so fucked up.
Damn.
That'd be so bad, man. That'd be fucked up. I think we gotta look, man. If I do come to America in like June or July or whatever,
Mhm.
and we do a podcast, definitely come to the airport and just be on standby in case like ICE, just start like fucking trying to like rape me. It'd be fucked up.
Okay. I'll keep my eyes open. We'll bring a GoPro and we'll be ready to record everything. Yeah.
Fucked up, man. It's fucked up.
All right. Well, hey, listen, I gotta head to sleep pretty soon. I'm cutting my stream off soon. So thanks for chatting. And if anything relevant comes up, shoot me a DM. Yeah.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me on, man. I've been a big fan for a long time, so I appreciate you having me on, and yeah, should definitely follow the Australian elections, and yeah, maybe I'll come to America in like June, July, and we'll see if I get like just fully tortured by ICE at the border.
We'll keep our eyes open for it. All right.
Yeah, thank you, and thanks for helping me inform your audience about like the extent of the gang stalking that exists in the world. Like, I think they need to understand, China's bad. The Chinese government's very bad.
Yeah. A lot of them don't take it seriously. So glad we could educate them. Yeah.
Dude, it's bad. A lot of people think like, oh, Russia's schizo, at least China's a bit more normal. Trump's so bad that maybe China will be better. But dude, it's actually really fucked up. They fully gang stalk people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, bro. Thanks for having me on, guys. And there's some good comments here saying support Drew against the gang stalking. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. You guys are legends. Thanks, Destiny. I appreciate it, man.
We'll do our best. Have fun. Peace out.
Thanks, bro. Have a good one. Have a good one, bro.